Hello and welcome to the 12th or 13th, I don't know, episode. Um, I'm here with T. Wayne Williams, the National South Region President, if he would like to introduce himself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Connor. So I am T. Wayne Williams, currently serving as the National FFA Southern Region Vice President, and it's truly an honor. I'm originally from Tennessee, and so got to represent Tennessee FFA as a state officer. Now to get to step up to the national level, it's an incredible honor. I found a community within FFA my freshman year, and ever since then, I can say that it's truly helped me live out our mission statement of premier leadership, personal growth, and career success. And I'm super excited to be on here today.
Yes, awesome. So, you kind of alluded to it first off, but how'd you get started in FFA? Like, is this a thing that you walked in one day and you were put in a class, or have you always been kind of around agriculture?
For me, my journey within FFA, I like to tell people it started way before me. So T Wayne actually stands for Troy Martin Wayne. Troy was my great grandfather, and he started my family's beef operation here in Woodbury, Tennessee, where I'm sitting right now, in 1959. My grandfather Wayne was born on a family farm up in Illinois, and currently to this day, my father Martin runs our family's beef operation here in Tennessee. So I got three generations of agriculturalists in my name, but as we was kind of talking about earlier, Connor, before the show started,
Hmm.
was really into sports. So middle school T Wayne, he had a perm mullet, he had blue braces, and he thought that he was going to be like the next Steph Curry of Cannon County sports. Like was big into basketball. So I'm going throughout middle school, really focused on like AAU basketball, all types of travel sports. But my dad kept telling me, when you get to high school, you were signing up for an ag class. I was like, okay, I mean, I'll do it if you want me to. So I signed up for an agri-science class. I'm about 2 weeks into that class, and my FFA advisor, Miss Emily Haley, she handed me a Woodbury FFA chapter officer application. I had no idea what a chapter officer was. I flipped through the pages and I read terms such as an SAE, CDE, LDE. I had no idea what any of that meant. I kind of felt overwhelmed, handed it back to her, and I said, Miss Haley, this just isn't for me. I'm going to focus on my sports. Then, fast forward about a week later, it's a Friday afternoon. We're about to have a 3-day weekend. I'm walking out of basketball conditioning once again. I'm exhausted, and I can also see that my 5'8" at the time self just probably wasn't going to be able to really hang in there with those guys who are 6'3", 6'4" on the basketball court. But I'm about 30 feet from the high school doors. My dad's about to pick me up, and I'm ready for my 3-day weekend. And that same FFA advisor, Miss Emily Haley, rounds the corner, stops me, and hands me back that application and said, just fill this out this weekend and it will change your life. So I get in the truck with my dad and I'm telling him about it. And he's, of course, very supportive of it. My mom was supportive. I filled it out to the best of my knowledge. And I still say to this day, she was exactly right in those words of it will change my life. I got elected Woodbury FFA chapter sentinel. And after that, I found some of my best friends through this blue jacket on that chapter officer team. I found a community, a purpose, and a passion. And it's led me to here where I now have about 5.5 months left in this office, and that'll be the last time that I hang up the blue jacket. And I want to make sure that I cherish every single moment of this year and give back to what this organization has helped me find within myself.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you started freshman year. What was I can assume this by the way you kind of said it, but
Yeah.
when you first kind of stepped into it, what wasn't like an event or like an idea that you had to do that was like a major hang up, like something that you were a bit like confronted by or just nervous about?
hmm the big one that really, I mean, I was like, I am not doing this. This is way too outside of my comfort zone, but made me fall in love with FFA. It was actually a really random event. So my freshman year was COVID year. And so we usually, our Tennessee FFA State Convention is the third week of March. We're about to go into it just here in a few days. However, that year with COVID, we pushed it all the way back to June. And so I come in freshman year. I'm about to go into my sophomore year at this point, but I still got my mullet. I still got my blue braces, but I'm super shy at this point. I'm coming into state convention. They've roped me into going. I didn't really want to go. I wanted to focus on my trap shooting that I did, my golf matches that I was getting into in high school. But I go to convention. And at the first general session, we have got 4,000 FFA members packed into this auditorium. They are singing and dancing, anxiously awaiting the first general session. And then you got me. I'm absolutely not singing, Connor. I'm not dancing. I'm not even clapping because I'm just thinking if I can sit here in my chair and stay quiet enough, nobody's going to notice me. Then this goes to just a turn of events. They walk up on stage, and the announcer says, "We need two FFA members to come up here and rap the FFA creed." Immediately, I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be me." So I leaned a little bit further back in my seat, put my arms like this, kept my eyes down. I was going to avoid eye contact. I mean, there's 4,000 people in this room. Surely they can find two other people. But my FFA advisors, they had a different plan. They grabbed me by the arm, popped the collar on my FFA jacket, threw aviator sunglasses on my face, and pushed me toward that stage. Now, I want to be very clear about this, Connor. I did not volunteer for that. I was voluntold. And as I'm walking up onto that stage, I'm thinking, this is going to be the most embarrassing moment of my life. And I wish that I could tell you that I crushed it and delivered just this amazing FFA Creed rap. But what I delivered was a slow country style rap of the FFA Creed that I don't think had ever been delivered before and probably honestly should never be attempted again. The crowd, they clapped mostly out of kindness. And I tried to get off of that stage as fast as I could, but we still had 2 more days of convention after that. And the amount of FFA members, advisors, alumni, supporters that came up to me, this random student from Woodbury FFA, and talked to me about how I went up there and rapped the FFA Creed. It was the first time that I truly realized that this organization was full of people that want to see others succeed. And I had never been in a community that was like that. And that's when I knew that this organization was much bigger than myself. And it's really when I went head over heels all the way into the blue corduroy and wanted to get involved in as much as I possibly could.
Yeah, and you guys host. Well, I would say everyone hosts their state convention so early
I know.
because
Y'all are
we
back
host
there.
ours like the first week of June.
Yep. Yeah, we are. We're early, and it's so funny because in Tennessee, we like did apparently way before I was in FA. Like we did an experiment of like, what if we do move it to the summer? Would we see more members? But what we see is when we go to the summer, we have like a lower attendance rate, which is different than other conventions. But a bunch of our students, and I can't blame them one bit, but they're like, "Hey, if we can get out of a week of school and go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, sign us up." And so we keep it there in the spring so we can get a higher attendance rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and for us, I think it's mainly because of Rupp Arena is usually booked like any time before
And
that.
that makes sense. Yeah. But Rough
Like
Arena, what a cool place to have
I
convention.
know, and
That's,
especially because I'm in Lexington, so it's like
oh, there you
20
go.
minutes away,
I'd say not far at all.
and we all the high schools have their graduations in there, so that's
Okay.
why which is why scheduling for national not national for state convention is probably really hard because
I bet.
they all graduate, do the little ceremony a week after school gets out, so they have to like balance between it.
Exactly. Rupp Arena is one place that I do really want to go. As we was talking about the Orange Room, Big
Yeah,
Boston, and one of the first like volunteer games that I can remember growing up was watching them in Rupp Arena, and we would never win in there. And then like 2 years ago, I remember we finally took a win in there.
yeah,
I was over the moon. I was like, oh my gosh, we've won in Rupp Arena. This is big time.
yeah. And then I'm always desensitized to it, to be honest. Like
Yeah, makes sense.
like when because we host everything in there, man.
Yeah.
Like we I was telling you about this before the show, but the girls state tournament for women's basketball,
Okay.
the high school women's basketball tournament,
Where it's
held
at.
in Rupp Arena.
I got you.
Men's basketball tournament for high school
Rupp.
held in Rupp Arena. Like graduation, Rupp Arena. Like everything is held there.
Oh, that's funny. I could see it being such a historic place though, but yeah, that would be
Yeah.
especially when you live right there in Lexington, you're like, don't drive by Rupp Arena, it's gonna be busy.
I pr- I pray for Lillian Island and her like getting through that traffic
Yep, yep. Oh gosh.
because it's like these two narrow roads that go past it.
Oh gosh.
Like it's
Yeah.
put in the most inconvenient possible place.
Thankfully, Lily is a good driver, so
Yeah, hopefully.
thankfully. Yeah,
So,
hopefully.
so, as you went up on stage, did it ever occur to you that, you know, hey, maybe I should do this more. Maybe I should go up on stages more often.
At the time when I went up there, again, I was just so focused on like, man, I need to get off stage. This was kind of embarrassing rapping the FFA Creed. Thankfully, shout out to my advisors, I was able to win that Creed rap battle solely because of the fact that I had my collar popped and aviator sunglasses on. So people were like, oh my gosh, he's the rapper. And then I got started. T Wayne can easily be put into either T Pain or Little Wayne. And so it just really worked out there. But at that convention, when I started having one-on-one conversations with people afterwards after it, I think I finally was experiencing, wow, I really do enjoy getting to learn about other people's stories, about their backgrounds, about why they're in FFA, what hobbies or sports they're into, because it's really cool. We all come from different walks of life, but I can promise you we can always find one thing that we're both really passionate about. And if it's only one thing, it may just be that we love this blue corduroy jacket, but we can talk about that and we can make a connection on that and keep in touch for years to come. And I just loved that at that freshman year convention. And so that was when I was like, okay, maybe we need to get into public speaking. Maybe we need to get into advocating for agriculture, because I really got into agriculture issues coming from a agricultural background with a beef cattle operation. I'd been hearing about the issues from my grandpa, from my dad, and so I knew just how important using our voice was within agriculture, and FFA amplifies that at such a bigger level. And so I dove headfirst into employment skills, extemporaneous public speaking, creed speaking the freshman year. I tried it all out, and at the start, they were all nerve wracking. They were not the best. I was still the shy kid, but if you just continue to take steps outside of your comfort zone, this FFA jacket, it opens up so many doors of opportunities. And I'm really glad that I got to see that and that I can showcase that to other FFA members too, because I'm not sitting in this chair. I'm not the person talking to you without the time within the blue corduroy. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I love FFA events and
Yeah.
CDs and LDs. Like tomorrow we have our regionals for
Okay.
tomorrow, so that's gonna
What are
be
you
fun.
competing in?
So I'm doing senior parliamentary procedure.
Oh, nice. Okay. The Parley Pro, Robert's Rules of Order.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah, I have it downstairs. I'm very excited, but also nervous because this is kind of a reset year for us, if that makes
Okay.
sense. Because Kentucky FFA has this rule for some events that if you make it to nationals, you're not allowed to compete again. And our team made it to nationals last year, so
Gotcha.
it's a
Yeah.
bunch of new people, but I'm still
There you
hoping
go.
because
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll do great.
There you go. Yeah, I have a crazy story from my Parley Pro
Go on.
days. Yeah, so we weren't the best Parley Pro team by any means. We started it my junior year. We were really getting into it, but we made a goal within our Middle Tennessee section. We have a district level, then a sectional level, and then the entire region level. And so at the sectional level, there's like 14 teams, and you have to be in the top two. So we were like, if we can make it past sectionals and get to the regional contest, we'll be over the moon happy, like super excited. So we made that our goal our senior year. We got second at sectionals. We're advancing to regionals. We're like, yes, we've made it. Now, one contest that we just absolutely loved in our chapter was ag sales. And so ag sales was coming up, and a lot of us on the Parley Pro team was also on the ag sales team. So it was going to be like regional Parley Pro on a Tuesday, regional ag sales on a Thursday. And so we were kind of already shifting our focus to ag sales because we were like, it's going to be a really slim shot of us making it in Parley Pro. So we get to that contest on Tuesday night and we're like, hey, let's just go in there, give it our best shot. And one of my really good friends named Brandon King, he's at UT Martin now. He's studying agricultural business. But Brandon King, he was on the Parley Pro team, is really good at the debating part of it. But he walks up to me, 2 minutes before we walk into the room to compete. He said, I'm going to do something really funny in here. I was like, Brandon, let's just try our best. Let's just get out of here. He's like, no, man, we got a slim shot. I'm going to do something funny in here. So I go into the room, white as a ghost, because I'm like, what is he about to try to do? And we start debating. Everything's going okay. And out of nowhere, he asked for a question of privilege. And this is where I know I'm like, this is not good. And so I'm like, Brandon, you're recognized. And he goes, Mr. Chairman, may I take my shoes off? It is very hot in here and my dogs are barking. And Connor, I had no idea what in the world to say to that question. And we probably sat for no kidding, 15 seconds with just me and him staring at each other. The judge is not laughing. Everybody is lost. And I'm like, Robert's Rules of Orders, we must remain in official dress, tapped it and just kept going. I was like, I don't even know what to say, but this is the most embarrassing FFA contest story ever. So we get out. We did not, it's safe to say we did not advance the state. But Brandon still thinks it's hilarious to this day. But really, I'm like still mortified by it. I'm like, why in the world will we say that? But it's okay.
For a minute, I was a bit like pulled in, I guess more than I would be, because for us, when we have, on our card, when we have question of privilege, we have like this go-to thing of saying, I rise to equivalent of privilege. It is on here, may I take off my FFA jacket? No, you may not.
Okay.
So that's like what we have so that we don't like
Yep.
make something up.
And so okay. And I actually think we had something like that, like asking to take a jacket off. And I'm sure just in because he was our class clown, that's the superlative he got voted. He was like, oh, I'll take it up a level. And he did.
I could never do chair. I
Um,
cannot memorize all that much.
it was stressful. I mean, I was like, the debating was always tough for me, so that's why I went to chairman. But yeah, it took a lot of hours. That contest is just it's a lot in itself. So real respect to you and all of your team because it's an impressive contest to master.
Yes.
It
So,
is.
um, can you like walk me through National Convention Day when you were named South Region Vice President? Because I was there up in
Okay.
the nosebleeds.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, actually, that morning I was probably pretty close to where he was at because that week, just to put it too simple, it was one of the most stressful experiences of my life. I mean, I absolutely love this organization with my whole heart, and I wanted to go express that to the nominating committee. And if I could go and express just how much I cared about being a national officer of that nominating committee, whether I was elected or not, I was going to be able to walk away saying, I just left it all out there. But it's also such a challenging concept because you try to go pour out your heart and your soul. And then it's like they have to sit there and make a decision. And I have so much respect for the nominating committee because, oh my goodness, seeing the candidates that we had and the candidates that we've had in previous years, I mean, just about all 37 are qualified. All of 37 are qualified to be a national FFA officer. But that morning, 100 different thoughts were racing through my head when I woke up. Was I going to get elected? What was life going to look like for the next year? What was I going to do if I didn't get elected? Like just so many questions out there. But I knew one thing was for certain that when I walked out of Lucas Oil Stadium that day, no matter if I was elected or not, my life was never going to be the same. And that was something really heavy to have to hold on to know this was going to be a life changing moment, whether it was elected and serving for a year or not. And so I made a decision that morning. I had said, I'm not going to worry about the little details of this day. Instead, I just want to focus on the big picture and the things that truly matter. And to do that, I made a decision that I needed the best vantage point possible of the entire stadium. So I made my way to the very, very top of Lucas Oil Stadium. And let's just say getting to the top was a challenge in itself. I had got to the upper level suites where kind of the state staff and the state officer team sit, and then I tried to just stay on the elevator to go even one more up. I had my ag teacher with me, and she had to buy some time with the security guards because they were curious, like, why is this kid wanting to get to the upper levels of the stadium? And so we had to talk to them for a while to try to explain, like, hey, I just want this vantage point. I had two other ag teachers who were in communication with me the whole time because they're hustling through that 73,000 member crowd to try to get some seats on the floor for my family and supporters when the election was announced. But eventually, I made it to the top, Connor. And I watched as 73,000 FFA members just poured into that stadium. And it was a very surreal feeling just watching all of them run in that watching all of these members run in. And I pulled out my favorite book and I read a line that said, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but the purpose will stand." And it felt like for the very first time that entire week, my mind just went completely quiet. And I was able to remember why I run for this position in the first place, not for this title, not for a recognition. It was just simply to instill belief in others and to have a passion for the agriculture industry and share that with the members of this organization. And in that very moment of uncertainty, I was able to find peace. And I'm so glad that I was able to, because when I walked down there to that line and I swayed, I was able to keep that in my heart of the things that truly matter to me, my family, my friends, and getting to hear my name. It was absolutely amazing, and it was a dream come true. And I'm getting to serve the past 4.5 months. I've got to go to places that I could have never imagined. I mean, I've been on 26 plane flights, traveled 11,700 miles, went to another country. But as I continued to tell people all throughout this year, this is a year that I will cherish forever. But if in 10 to 15 years, if I look back and say, man, my national FFA officer year, that was the peak of my life, then Connor, I feel like I've done something completely wrong because
Yeah.
this should be a block in continuing to level up within our leadership, within our careers, within our life. But I don't want this time to be the peak of my life. I want having a family, being back here in Tennessee, carrying on the family farm, being growing within my career. That's where I want the peaks of my life to be. And so having that peace and having that clarity was something that was so special for me that day because state office back in 2024, that wasn't me. I was 18 years old and I had put it on do or die. If I got elected, I was successful. If I didn't, I wasn't. And that's just not the case in those situations because just going through the experience, you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about your why, your passion, why you want to be a leader, and you can continue to build on those. And so I'm grateful for that week. Would I ever want to do it again? Probably not. But I'm grateful for that experience, and it's a week I'll never forget. I often think back to it many, many times throughout these past 4.5 months.
Yeah, and Amelia Tucker, she
Yeah.
was a former FFA, not FFA state president for
Okay.
Kentucky, and I interviewed her, and she said something kind of similar. How to her like the best parts of her life are outside of FFA,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for FFA.
That's such a great point. Yeah,
Yep.
that's amazing point. And I remember about 2 weeks before convention, I had a really good mentor of mine tell me that about putting your life, think about it in puzzle pieces, and how he say, think about your family as a puzzle piece, your sports and hobbies, your school as a puzzle piece, FFA as a puzzle piece. You can see how FFA is built a lot of those connections with those friends, with the networking opportunities within your leadership. But if you were to just take the FFA piece out of the entire puzzle, if there was like a huge hole in your puzzle, then you've got to start thinking about how you're going to fill that up. Because while we love this organization and we want to go serve it to the best of our abilities, we've also got to find other ways to fill up our cup. Because at the end of the day, we've got to hang up that jacket for the last time, and there's still a lot more life out there to live. And we've got to go hold on to those memories as well.
Right, and just like you quoted Proverbs 19:21.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Yes.
and I've always kind of seen it like this. Is that like in Michaela Fields, current state officer? So many names I'm throwing at you.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
um, I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "You're never put here, without a reason. Like,
Yes.
you wouldn't, even if you didn't get into national office, I don't think you would be the same person regardless. Like, I think you
100.
would walk out of Lucas Oil Stadium and head back home a different person and a better person for it,
Yes.
regardless of what happened. And I think
Yes.
that's just an amazing effect FFA has on its members, its officers, and the advisors who help us through it. Like
Yep.
their tenacity to volunteer us to do things that we don't want to do, but
Exactly.
end up working out somehow.
Exactly. No, yeah, it's I mean, you're spot on, and that's why when if people ask me about, when did you know if you wanted to run for national FA office and those things, there was a time that I was like, okay, I feel like, there's a calling to do some more within this blue jacket. But if you're on the fence about it, continue to think about it, continue to have your friends and supporters and family talk to you about it. But there's never going to be a wrong decision in doing it, because
Yeah.
going through that process, it does change your life and it helps you for the better, as you said. And we've seen so many national officer candidates who weren't elected still go on to do some really successful things. And it just shows the testament to what FFA does for people.
Right. And just, uh, I've always loved it because it's, the interview questions and studying up on like ag issues in your
Yeah,
state and across the country will just make you a better informed person for
100%.
stuff that you probably deeply care about, like especially where I'm from, because I'm in a very urban area of
Yep.
Lexington. um I love advocating for agriculture because I think that's really needed, because um it's really one of the main driving uh industries here with horse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So much horse stuff.
Oh, a lot of horse stuff. Yeah, you got those thoroughbreds up there. Yeah.
Mm.
Taking it not a horse person.
I like horses, I don't like horse people.
That's so fair. That's so fair. My family, we do Tennessee walking horses. So my dad showed them since like the 1980s, and like all growing up, I was like, no, I'm not doing that, because I would see horse people, and it would be like, man, we're taking this stuff way too seriously. But at
Yeah.
about 17, they got me roped into it, and I do a little bit of horse showing with my walking horses. Nothing compared to the horse people that take it that seriously, because I'm like, I can't be getting roped into that. They got a passion for it. I give it to them,
I
but
respect the passion.
I respect the passion. Yeah, but I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, and it's and like one of my friends, she works in like this traveling clinic for equine, so she
Okay.
um is an intern for a vet, and they just go around, get calls from local equine
Okay.
farms, and
That's cool.
they're so specific about how they want things to be done,
Oh,
because
yes.
they're because for these people, they're not just horses, they're also investment portfolios, for lack of a better term.
Yes, yes, and that's crazy to me. Like my 2 horses that I show, like I'm like, they're gonna stay here. I'm not gonna be selling them. But like some of these people that I show against, they're like showing them to sell them for thousands and thousands of dollars. And I'm like, yeah, you're way in over my head in
Yeah,
all of this. So shout out to you.
shout out to you.
Yeah,
And then yeah, I love FFA for that reason. It's just such a fun,
it is.
and even if like something that I've also kind of learned with like over time is that you don't always have to be the most outspoken person.
Mm-mm.
Just being an advocate does not include being the person up front in the room with a megaphone. It also includes the people behind the scenes.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because while there are, 6 national FFA officers, I got to talk to some members in New Hampshire last week about this, as I was at their state convention. We can't just do what we do as a national organization with just 6 people advocating. Like, it takes people continuing to understand their role. That was something that I wasn't the best at basketball, but I'm so glad that I learned the importance of finding your role on a team, because there's going to be times where maybe, just like you said, you're not the person with the microphone, you're not the person in the spotlight. And I personally will say I prefer those moments when I don't have to be with the microphone or the spotlight. I want to shine that spotlight on others. I try to do that with my teammates, try to do that with people that I meet here within this organization and just in everyday walks of life. But when we understand that our role is to advocate for what FFA is doing, to showcase to people, hey, the number one thing that you can take out of agriculture or FFA, if you're not going to go into ag as a career path, you can still learn public speaking skills. You can still learn leadership skills. but you can also be an informed consumer. So one day, if you have a family and you walk into a grocery store, you at least know something about some agricultural and food products that are going to be beneficial to you. And that's impacting everyone because it is blowing my mind as I've traveled this year, people who just think that food comes from grocery stores. And it takes a lot of people, not just six people, not just a 4-H organization, but it takes everybody to share that voice so that we can spread that across this nation.
Right. And one of my advisors, quick question, how many advisors did you have throughout high school?
3, 3. They all, yeah. We have a 3-teacher program, and they were there the whole time.
Nice. One of our advisor is Mr. Ashcraft. He's a big livestock guy, big into animal science. He's
Yeah.
retiring this year. He has his degree in like livestock management.
Okay.
He manages all the livestock from our school because our school's on a
Wow.
farm. It's
Okay.
I'll I can tell you more about that later, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's very cool. We also have
That
an equine
is
barn, but
legit.
he always said to us, because I'm a tour guide, so when I bring in like elementary school, not elementary, middle school kids, like eighth graders in
Yep.
to maybe see if they want to join our school because it's a career and technical school,
Mhm.
he always makes it a big point that his goal is to not make anyone go into the ag industry. His goal is to make informed consumers who some might be in the ag industry.
Yeah.
It's his goal to make sure that they know the different cuts of meat so they know what it's worth, the prices of beef, what makes beef valuable, how to know what good marbling is, how to just feed animals, just
Yep.
all that stuff.
And that's what we need, and that's why I think agricultural teachers are so important, is because they understand the big message of like, yes, if you join an ag class, we are not saying that you have to find a route down the agricultural pathway one day. Obviously, yes, we want people and
Yeah,
we need people who are in the agriculture industry. But we understand that there are many of us that have a passion for maybe communications, maybe English, maybe into the science pathway, but you can still learn something from an agricultural class. And that's what I think is so important about the three circle model is you take the classroom, you can take a supervised agriculture experience and apply it to what you learned in the classroom. And then I'm biased, but you also got this leadership organization that, if anything, it allows you to find friends from across this state, across this nation that can carry on for years to come.
yeah, and I think FFA is special in that because I don't think there's another organization out there quite like
Yeah.
it because like any of the high school like programs like NHS, Beta
Yep.
Club,
Yep.
although it's cool and all, I just don't think any of them are like FFA because in FFA, you kind of have to be involved by nature. You
You do.
like there's not just a member to be a member. It's pretty much you're
Yep.
in it or you're not, and it's
Yes.
everyone I've
And
met it has just like a passion for agriculture, maybe not just like anything from plant science to veterinary medicine to ag mechanics to livestock management to anything.
exactly. And that I love all of our CTSOs, but like I was a DECA club member at my high school. I never took a business class though. I never took that pathway. And that is something that I love that we require. If you're going to be an FFA member, you have to be in an agriculture education class. And that's something that is vital because we want you to be in all three circles, not just one circle. Whereas I enjoyed my time in DECA, but there was definitely things that I missed out on because I wasn't in a business class in the weekdays. I would go to the conventions for the trips and everything, and I competed in some marketing plan contests, but never got the full concept like I've been able to see within FFA. And that classroom to leadership organization combo it's big time.
Yeah, and just the many opportunities you get in FFA, like
Yes.
holy moly, the amount of
Oh my
scholarships,
goodness. Wow.
the
Wow.
amount of grants.
It's crazy. I was in 60/60, I guess, about 2 weeks ago, and me and Joey, my teammate, we were looking at it. $2.7 million awarded in scholarships last year. Like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy. It's
and
insane.
all those go into these students who are passionate for agriculture,
Yes.
who want to pursue it, and just being able to give them the best education possible to help grow their like learning and leadership because I have never met someone who's been in FFA or is in FFA that is not a like lifelong learner. Someone who always
Point.
is like wanting to learn, someone who's just isn't afraid to say that they don't know, but because they don't
Mhm.
know, they're also willing to learn and willing to do like search for knowledge.
Great point. Yes, no, that's true, and that's something that I think we see FFA members once they leave the jacket become leaders. Secretary Brooke Rollins is an amazing example
Hmm.
of it. She didn't just stop with her success within FFA. She took it to Texas A&M and became student body president there, and now is the Secretary of Agriculture of this
Yeah.
entire nation. And so, yeah, those lifelong learners. It's a skill that you develop through FFA, but there was times I'm not a plant person at all. I did the floriculture CDE, and I take so much pride now when I can walk down the street and I can see a flamingo plant, or I can see some that I can identify, and I'm like, never would I have known this stuff. And I still want to learn about them because plants now are interesting to me. And I'm like, I would have never even had an interest to like, man, I want to continue to learn about this if it wasn't for my time in FFA.
Yeah, and like and then with stuff like new and coming to agriculture thing like emerging technology, one of my advisors, Mr. Craig,
Yeah.
he teaches ag mechanics at our school,
Okay.
because we have like six pathways or so.
Oh wow, wow,
Um, and all of them go into like different parts, so like
very
environmental
cool.
science, plant science, animal science, food science, veterinary science, equine science, and
Nice.
I think that's it. If I can remember anyone, I'll say it. But just going, and he um really like noticed that I was passionate in agriculture, and he helped me. He pretty much volunteered me to do a speech, but
There you go.
um he also is next year is going to start a class called Emerging Technology in Ag, where he like pretty much teaches students a lot of new technology in
All
agriculture, so
right.
like um using drones for fertilization or new like technologies that we're using to like
Nice.
better be more productive.
Yep.
That's just really fascinating. Well, every single part of agriculture is fascinating me to some degree.
Right.
Like I'm really jealous because if I could go to this school for the rest of my life, I absolutely would.
What?
Like soak up all of it because
Yep.
it's so cool.
Ah,
Um like I love learning about very specific. I love learning about acidity in water and
okay.
just like in plants. Like in eighth grade, my agri-science fair project was over that.
Okay.
I loved it. Um, and just since then, I've been in environmental science stuff,
Yeah. There
loving
you go.
it
And
in
that
ag
was
mechanics.
Yeah, that was like I was always the animal science coming from the beef cattle, and then just I mean I'm still learning stuff. FFA week, I went to Nevada and got to go around with their state officer team and their state president Max. Oh, Max is like a genius when it comes to hydroponics, and we stopped at two of their University of Nevada at Reno facilities of their plant science research, and we got to see some hydroponics in like actual fashion, running, working, continuing to grow plants. And I was mesmerized because I had never seen something like that in my life. And I was like, we need to be implementing this in the local agriculture education classrooms. Like, this is something that is so interesting that just about anybody could get involved in, and it's helping the agriculture industry. And I was blown away. It was cool.
And I've always been a bit partial to the animal science as well.
There we go.
Like I'm after high school, I'm hoping to go into vet school
Awesome.
for veterinary pathology
Okay. Where would you want to go
because
for that? Does Murray State have a vet school?
uh,
No.
well, they're trying to get one. They're trying to get accredited.
Okay.
Um, but the thing is, so I one of my CAs said I interned at a veterinary clinic, and we were
Okay.
talking about it, and he said to me, "Don't go anywhere near it for a good while since they're
Gotcha.
first getting off their feet and they need to like
Fair.
really figure things out."
Fair.
But hopefully Texas A&M because
Oh, heck yeah.
that's always been a dream school of mine.
That's such good stuff.
Um, I actually have so much Texas A&M merch in my house from
Yeah.
just being a kid and just loving it.
No, it is College Station. I've never been, but Joey, my teammate, he's going, and he showed me pictures and everything. Oh wow, it's the campus looks cool. I mean, it is. you wanna go to an ag school,
Yeah,
that's the place. So, yeah, that's cool.
yeah, and just because I love vet stuff, but I don't like working with small animals.
Okay.
Um, I've always been a more of a large livestock person, and the pathology part is more of a recent thing because our school had this guest speaker from well, two from the UK diagnostic lab.
Okay.
So that's where they bring animals that have died due to unknown causes and get them
Yes.
figured out. So like rabies stuff,
Yep.
and she brought this like menagerie of
Oh,
cool
wow.
stuff like zebra heads, like the
Oh,
most
that's cool.
amazing and cool stuff, and I was like, okay, this might be for me. And then I started asking her about it, and she was like, yeah, it's like the more dirty work about it, like
Okay.
it's one of the more like dirty parts, and I was like, that's what I love. I love that.
You're in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
There we go. We have something like that at the Tennessee Department of Ag, they do it, and we got to sit in on some of them. And one time, I wanna say they had a mountain lion in there, and
Mm,
that was cool to see. I was like,
yeah.
"Whoa, this is pretty interesting." And which I don't do really good with blood, but that one, I was able to fight through because I was like, "This is pretty interesting."
Yeah, I'm okay with blood. I'm
Okay.
ever since I started working at a vet clinic, I've gotten more used to it
There you go.
just by nature of it.
Sure. Yep.
I'm more of a smell person than a sight person, is what I've
I
learned.
I can agree with that. The
Yeah,
smell. Yep.
smell gets to me far quicker and far worse than a sight ever does.
Agreed. Agreed.
But divulging for
Yes.
uh for the viewers' sake, but
Yeah.
so you uh are from Tennessee, Middle
Yes.
Tennessee. So
Yes.
your guys' regions, is it just uh east, middle, west?
That's it. Yep. Yes, 3 regions. It keeps it pretty simple. Each region really operates in different ways, though, which I think is really cool. Like I said, we do our districts, sectionals, and then regions in Middle Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee, within membership numbers, we have the most members out of the 3 regions. Just a lot of Middle Tennessee is continuing to grow as we see today, just in population. So with that comes FFA members. East Tennessee, they are really into what they call districts and then sub-regionals. So
Hmm.
it's kind of our sectional level. And then West Tennessee really districts and then nothing but districts to regionals. They kind of skip that middle section, and that works for them. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We have 3 regional officer teams, and so 6 offices for each of those teams. But we keep it pretty simple there. 3 regions. Now, Kentucky, what do y'all have? Like 11 or something?
I was actually trying to look it up.
Yep,
It's like 11.
that's what I thought.
We have 150 or so chapters.
Okay.
So because have you seen a Kentucky county map?
See, I don't think I have.
I'll send it to you
Yes.
later, but you'll see the madness that is the Kentucky like districts because some are really small, some are really big. They're
Big.
all in weird shapes. But yeah, we have like 11 regions. I'm in the bluegrass region, so that's
Okay.
kind of the um upper central bluegrass, like the
Okay.
bluegrass area, so central
Yep.
Kentucky.
Gotcha.
So, I actually no, I'd say it's like more southern
Okay.
bluegrass, but it includes Lexington
Yep.
and pretty much all the surrounding counties.
Okay.
So
Alright.
Fayette County,
Yep.
Bourbon, Mercer, and just Jessamine, I think as well. But yeah.
I remember Trenton Page
Mhm.
explaining it to me, and Trenton, what a great guy. And then Mary Brooke, and I think she was telling me she was like from the Lincoln Trail or something like
Yeah,
that.
Lincoln Trail region.
Yep. So I was
That's
like, wow, these are some names right here.
yeah, Big Sandy River.
Okay. Big Sandy River. I like it.
Well, it's named after the Sandy River, which is
Oh,
a river.
right. There you go.
Uh, Lincoln Trail. Um, so that has some history to it because Lincoln Trail is, if I remember correctly, it's in more western Kentucky.
Gotcha.
So pretty much way out there. And the reason why it's named that is because Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's, the house he was born in, is in that area.
Okay.
So,
That makes
um,
sense.
so our FFA camp, so our yearly FFA camp.
Yep.
It's got a new name now because of Martin Gatton's estate donated like
Oh, right.
$12 million.
Yeah, so much. I saw
I
Caroline
know.
was telling me about that. I was like,
Yeah.
"That's insane."
I love Caroline. She's from our chapter
She's
too.
really?
Yeah.
Did not know that. Okay. She's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's awesome.
yes.
We get to see her so much because she's from our chapter and
Gotcha.
it's
That's
so
so
awesome.
cool.
But
That's awesome.
yeah, and $12 million or something like that. So it's like now named the something something Martin Gatton Kentucky FFA Leadership Training Camp,
Gotcha.
and it's and every year or so, every week or so, or during your time there, because it's split up in different weeks. We usually go
Okay.
in during July 4th,
Gotcha.
the July 4th week, which is really fun.
That's pretty fun, yeah.
But we get to go on a hike up to this very huge tree, like this massive, massive tree.
Okay.
And then if you go like this way to the
Yep.
left of the tree and you keep walking, you'll see the cabin or the area he was born in.
Oh, now that's okay, that's pretty awesome.
So that's
That's
why
cool.
it's
Yep,
called
Lincoln.
that.
That
And
makes sense.
then bluegrass, bluegrass region.
Makes
Our
sense.
grass is actually blue.
Wow. There okay, interesting. I've
Um,
always heard of y'all as the bluegrass state, so
it's people think it's like vibrant UK blue for whatever reason.
I'm just
Um,
that's what I can picture.
yeah, it's more of like a deeper blue, more like a
Okay,
turquoise teal, like
gotcha.
a greenish blue, and
Yep.
it only really gets that when it's like really long, like when the grass is like up to your knee.
Yep. I'll have to look it up and send it to you afterwards, but where I was at because I used to be trap shooting, so skeet shooting
Hmm.
really big in high school, and Kentucky is, like, got one of the nicest state championship shoots in, like, all of the country. So me and, like, 4 other of my teammates would always come up there, and we would shoot as, like, out-of-state competitors. So we wouldn't be in the in-state one, but, like, we compete against all the people out of state, and we have, like, people from Ohio and Kansas, all of them show up to Kentucky, but it was really nice. So I gotta figure out where
Yeah,
that was. It was pretty
you
cool.
got to tell me about that because
Yes.
I love skeet shooting. I've
Yep.
never competed in it. I've
Yep.
never.
No, it's
It
fun.
looks cool. I don't have the nerves for that or the
Mhm.
aim.
Yeah, yeah. The aim took me a long time. I was not very good at the start, but I kept into it, so it's a blast though, you're right.
Yeah, and just yeah, and then our ag program's pretty big because we have so many schools that have ag programs like UK, EKU,
Ah,
WKU, Murray State, Moorhead, um, Kentucky State, uh, and then going on just
yep.
so many ag programs.
Oh, man.
And
That's but yeah.
I was telling Matthew Estes about this,
Yeah.
how like cool it is and how special it is that um people there is not just one dignified ag school.
Mhm.
All of our schools are ag schools in
Cool.
one way or another.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because like when we look at Tennessee, we have like 3 really or 4 kind of major ag schools. Because we got UT Knoxville, UT Martin is like our heavy ag school, like that's where a lot of our ag students go. Then we got Tennessee Tech, and Tennessee Tech's a strong ag program. However, we're so known for engineering, like that's what a lot of our students are. And then MTSU has an ag program too, and they actually got their own dairy operation and everything there, which is pretty cool to go to. But yeah, there's some diversity. But yeah, you're right where you're at. It's all over, all
I was
over.
thinking about taking a tour of MTSU, but I think my dad would hang me.
That's right. Yeah, that's a rivalry right there.
Yeah.
That's true.
If
I forgot about that.
yeah, it's I think I brought up Middle Tennessee having a good ag program and he like stared me down and said, "Don't go there."
Don't you do there? Yeah, don't
Because
you go there?
he was one of the mascots at WKU too. He was
Wow.
because his roommate was the main mascot, but when he was sick or couldn't do it, my dad would have to force his way into the suit, but he was too tall, so he'd just break his back.
That's hilarious. That's
And
awesome. That
yeah,
is my mom was kind of the same way though as your dad with the WKU and MTSU thing, because Tennessee Tech, where I go, and MTSU, like big rivals. And I was like telling my mom, I was like, I'm kind of thinking maybe MTSU is an option, and she would, like, give me that mom stare, like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's like
MTSU
the
making too many rivals.
yeah, it's like my band director always said it when we need to play quiet but still aggressive. That like the quiet mom yell when you're in
Yep.
this when you're in like the grocery store. She's trying to not to make a scene, but she's really mad at you.
Yes, that's the perfect representation. Yep.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, man.
but yeah, ag ag schools are cool, and we have so many,
Yeah.
and just and I also we had like this weird contract with Auburn.
Oh, wow.
So Kentucky students, if they get into Auburn
Okay,
veterinary medicine school, they're
okay.
still considered in-state, so they get in-state tuition
Now that is
at
sweet.
Auburn. Yeah,
That's sweet. That's good.
yeah,
Man,
and I don't know why we have that with them of all.
hey, wow, what a deal.
I know, and
That's
because I'm
awesome.
in, it's pretty cool, and then just all the amazing opportunities we get on top of it. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
um, I also really like that our uh state conventions in the first week of summer
Yep.
because we're all because it's pretty much just makes the convention more fun because there's not the looming threat of school when you get
School and
back.
get back, and that's a good point, yeah. I see, I've never even thought about that because 'cause I've always been at a convention in Tennessee thinking about, "Oh my gosh, I've missed so much schoolwork this past week," but yeah, you don't have to worry about that, so that's true.
Which I've only ever been to one Kentucky state convention, but I
Yep.
never went to a general session. I only went to compete in 8th grade for my agri-science fair project. I was
Yep,
there for like 15
and
minutes.
it's
Yep, and then left because I had something to do that day
there
that
you
I
go.
could not miss. And I've never been back, so hopefully this year.
Maybe this year, get to the session, yep.
And then I've been at 4 national conventions.
Wow. 4, okay, wow. You're right up there with me then, I think I've been
Yeah,
down to a total of 5, so yeah, man.
4 because I went in middle school.
Okay,
I went 2 years in middle school, 7th and 8th grade.
yep,
Went
and
this year. Went the year before that.
there you go. Man, yeah, you're gonna have a bunch by the time you get through with this.
And I wouldn't have it any other way because it's a new experience every year,
Oh my gosh,
and
it's amazing.
I end up learning something new every single time.
Yep.
Like learning. This might be a bit insane, but I didn't know that California was the number one dairy producer. I feel like
I
I should know that, but I didn't know that
Yeah,
until this
I would
year.
have thought Wisconsin, and
Wisconsin.
then yeah, and then I learned that too, but California, it blows my mind how diverse of an agriculture state. They grow a lot of different products, like, when we were over in Japan last month, oh my goodness, we went into this grocery store and they were showing us, like, "We've got a lot of USA products that are over here," and it was California bananas, California apples, yeah, I was like, "Man, everything is California." So I it really opened up my eyes too.
Yeah, and how was that Japan trip?
Oh, that was an experience. Wow. Longest plane ride I've ever been on, but survived it. Me and Joey watched our classic Western Lonesome Dove the whole way. So that was good. But over there, it was really cool. Like, it's just such a very quiet, respectful. They take small things and value them so much, which was like a really cool message for me of like, wow, how many things do we take for granted as Americans? And then the agriculture industry was really cool because you see so many of just everyday citizens who make their own food because they've got a little land, a little acre of land, and they'll make their own vegetables, or they'll have a few head of cattle, and that's where they get their beef from. And so that was really cool. Probably my favorite part was the Wagyu farm. He had like 2,000 head of Wagyu, and then decided to
1,000.
2,000 head. It was insane. And then he decided like 10 years ago, I'm going to start up my own restaurant and I'll just have Wagyu steaks. And so he took us there after, and a Wagyu steak, that is the best steak I have ever. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. And so that was amazing. And that was good for me because I'm not a sushi fan whatsoever. And so everybody else on the team is like eating up all of this food. And I'm over here. I brought a 48 pack of peanut butter crackers with me because I was like, I need to survive this trip. But when he brought that Wagyu steak out, I was all in. I'm like, "You've got me. I'm sold right there." But
Yeah.
it was cool. We also met a 91-year-old radish farmer 76 year of radish farming, and they have some of the largest radishes in this entire world.
I
Like they
love
did
radishes.
I know, and they do a contest over there where it is for the country, and then they'll go to the world competition for the largest radishes, and some of those are like insanely big, and so that was cool to see. And then, I mean, those FFJ members, there's
Hmm.
73,000 of them over there, but their ag classes are highly impressive. We went to one school, and they were growing wasabi, and then they had trout farms, and then they had rice fields. I mean, just about every one of them had their own farm that they were growing something on, and I was like, this is pretty neat. They're getting a lot of ag skills over here, and that's something that I'm like, man, if we could start implementing some of these
Yeah,
ideas back in the States, that would be awesome.
yeah, and just seeing stuff like that just seems so cool. Just
Yes.
getting to learn about like other cultures because
Oh, man, it
I
was cool.
I don't I don't think a lot of us here in the States really think about other countries agriculturally wise. Like
Yep.
we know they have farms, we just don't really give them
No, exactly. Yeah.
and just seeing the amount of cool stuff that they do that we can also do.
Mhm. Yeah, they're I mean, when we talk about efficient, that they are so great at being efficient and time saving and labor saving. I was like, wow, there's more outside of just American agriculture, and
Hmm.
we gotta open up our eyes to see it because once we do, that learning evolution just can continue to
Yeah,
grow. Yeah.
and it's only gonna get better from here with
Yep.
stuff like that. Like and then and it's always like a symbiotic relationship. We take stuff from them, they take stuff from us,
Exactly.
and we both do better.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and, like, getting to go to the US Embassy over there, because that was a lot of Americans who now live in Japan and work with them on, like, "This is how we can help you with your agriculture operations." That was cool because they gave us so many insights on, like, the differences, but also what works for Japan versus what works for the United States, and, like, one thing that, like, really caught out to me is in the States, our average farm size is over 400 acres, whereas in Japan, the average farm size is like 1.65 acres. And so they've got to find a way to feed a nation, to work with us on a very smaller level. And they do it in such a really impressive way. And we talk about the average age of a farmer being 58 years old in our nation. They're over there at 65. So, they're having those same issues. Farmland loss, that's
Yeah.
one that's so passionate to me. They see that as well. They're working on finding preservation programs as well, and so I was like, a lot more similarities than we would have thought as well.
Yeah, and just different cultural like their far more like as a collective kind of a society,
Yep.
like and then we're more individualistic, which have their own like pros and cons, but
Right.
you can see it in like agriculture, but I just think it's cool that they experience some of the same problems as us, and we
Agreed.
can look how they work with those problems. Because
Yep.
although they have obviously less people, the concepts themselves can still work on a larger scale. Like
100%.
for them, they can't really move out this way, so they got to move this way.
Yes.
So
Big
some
time.
things I've seen in New York, I think it was either Syracuse or Buffalo or somewhere
Okay.
between that.
Yep.
They had this not a skyscraper, but like a five-story-ish building that was
Okay.
just dedicated to hydroponics. So
Yeah.
each floor was a different system of hydroponics, and that is so
Big
cool
time.
because it provides farmland where they're running out or
Yep.
they're losing in like heavily urbanized areas like New York City or just the
Mhm.
state of New York in general or any
Yep.
place smaller like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island,
Yep.
and providing that space and then just on top of that, so cool. And then
100%.
uh when did I guess you've probably always been passionate about it, but when have you like really become passionate about farmland loss?
Yes, farmland loss really became an issue that I was understanding like, whoa, this is something that we need to get on top of back in my junior year of high school. So I got into running for I was a regional officer at the time, And I got to sit down and talk with our commissioner of agriculture at that time, Dr. Charlie Hatcher, and he comes from an eighth generation dairy producer, dairy operation. So, very dedicated to the agriculture industry in so many ways. And he was talking to our regional officer team, and I was really interested into the agriculture issues, LDE as well. And he started talking about this farmland loss, and it's really big in Tennessee. We're ranked third in the nation in it. From 1997 to 2022, we've lost 1.5 million acres of farmland, which is just insane.
Insane.
And he really, the part that just sold me on like, oh wow, we need to start advocating for this issue is right now it's something that we don't have to think about, but in 25,
Year
30
years we
years
will.
we will, because when we go down the road, are we going to see pastures? Are we going to see cornfields? Or are we just going to continue to see suburbs and urban developments continuing to grow? And while we want to keep bringing people to our state, we want to keep bringing people to this nation, I think it goes back to exactly what you said about that example in New York. We have to find ways to be more efficient with our land. And so that was what made me passionate about it, because I was like, this is an opportunity for FFA to step in, to bring in the next generation to this issue, to the people who are fortunate enough to have those generational farms. We need to show those FFA members the value in, hey, if you don't want to go into the agriculture industry, that's okay, but we need to keep this land in agricultural use and not just start cutting it up into suburbs, because we can never get that farmland back. And that's something that was really passionate to me. And we got my senior year of high school, Governor Bill Lee here in the state passed what's called the Farmland Preservation Program. And it is $25 million dedicated to farmers. They get a little bit of an incentive, and they get to put their farm into a conservation easement. And basically, how it works is that farmer, let's say they don't have somebody that they can pass it down to, they can say, okay, I want to sell my land, but through that conservation easement, they can sell it, but the land can never be put in non-agricultural use. So they can still get their money, they can still be rewarded for being able to have that land, but we're not just losing the
Yeah.
farm completely. And that's been something that we've seen over the last year and a half has been helpful for this state. And it really, that was the issue that started getting me into my major of agriculture communications with a focus in pre-law, of like being on being on a hill of being able to lobby on Capitol Hill for people, of senators and representatives who may not understand how important that issue. That's something that I can find a meaning and a purpose in
Yeah.
real quick. Yep.
Yeah, and I find that like very passionate in that, similar about like
Yep.
lobbying, because ag is kind of the basis of a civilization just by nature.
100%.
It
Yep.
allowed for specialization to allow for growth,
Yep.
and something I've always kind of been passionate about is right to repair,
Yes. That's a
uh
good one.
the increasing average age of farmers, because I've seen it like firsthand account for both of them. Like, um, my grandmother, she doesn't own a farm, she lives on a farm, so she
Okay.
rents her little trailer from the people who own
Okay.
it, and they're in their 80s now. They're the sweetest couple I've ever
Yeah.
met. But they used to run beef cattle, so
Okay.
they would have like a 200 size herd,
Yep.
and just they're in Bardstown, so they would sell it at the local farmers market, or sell them at an auction,
Hmm.
and that's how they made their living. But due to up running costs of equipment and being able to repair, because they weren't legally allowed to repair it on their own,
Yeah.
and the fact that they were getting old and they couldn't keep doing it anymore, they pretty much had to sell almost all of their cattle except for
Mhm.
like 10 or so, and just keep those as because they enjoy it, obviously.
Exactly.
And they are in their retirement age, but they still have like a passion for it. And that's I I can I can, not a very straight line, but I can draw a line between where I am now and going to my grandmother's house and just
Yep.
playing with, because they also used to have horses.
Okay.
Yeah, and just, as I got older, they couldn't keep it due to,
Yep.
not many people being passionate about it, and just seeing that loss of it just hurts me a bit, because
It does.
Um, what if that wasn't there when I was younger? I don't know if I would be the same person I was today if I didn't,
Exactly.
you know, go to my grandmother's house for the weekend and just pet the cows.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's I mean, I think about that all the time too, like, so thankful that we still have our family farm that we started in 1959, but wow, it shaped the way that I grew up, like, I got to go when I got off the school bus after school and jump in the truck with my grandpa, and we would go check on cattle, and we would go fix fence, and we would go bale hay, and that was my summers, and that was my springs and my falls. It was all evolved around the farm, while right before we would feed, I'd have the basketball goal up in my
Yeah,
driveway. I'd be shooting with cows in the background in the field. Like, it's just that was life. And I understand that some people don't get that experience. And as I've traveled throughout this year, everybody, again, we all come from different walks of life for different reasons. But I think about, wow, I'm so thankful that I got that time on the farm because it's a special way of living and it provides so much peace and so much purpose, and that's why I want to be able to protect those. And you're right, those right to repair. I know a producer right down the road from me who it was harvest season, and those combines, they got some special parts, and his went down, and they're like, it's going to be 2 weeks. And he's like, I don't think we understand how fast weather can move and how much corn and wheat and soybeans I have to get up off the ground. And it's like, wow, if we had our own opportunity to be there and get that going back to our efficiency standpoint, how helpful would that be within the industry? So you're right.
right.
Yeah.
And, even if they don't stay, in the farm, like my grandfather, my dad's dad, he was born on a farm. He was an FFA member
Yep.
all the way back in the 1950s and 60s, very early
Yeah.
on. And he moved away from farming because although he didn't really have a passion for it, he still learned a lot from it. He went into IT and like in the
Wow.
1970s working for WKU in the
Okay.
technology department. So
Heck
he was probably one of the first like 1,000 or so programmers in
yeah.
the entire country. And he used
That's
what he
cool.
learned in
That's awesome.
just like the stuff of like learning discipline and like learning
Yeah.
like waking up early in the morning to go to work.
Wow.
And he was in there for 20 years,
And
20
you say he was
25
probably
years.
one of the first 1,000 across this
Yeah,
country? Wow. That's, man, that's
because
cool.
he started early and
Yeah.
yeah, and he loved it. He used what he learned from, being a farm kid and learning like being self-reliant, learning, getting up in the morning and use that to like succeed in stuff that isn't ag.
Yep. That's those are cool stories right there. Like that made me think back to I had the deputy commissioner of agriculture while I was running for state office. His name was Jeff Aiken, and he ran for state office in 1978, and he was not elected. And we did like a Zoom call, kind of like what we're doing right now, and we did a practice interview over ag issues. And I was still 18 at the time, and I was still putting on my life is on the line if I get elected to state office or not. And at the very end, after our feedback and everything, he told me, he said, Tim, I want you to know one thing. He's like, life will move on if you get elected or not. He's like, don't be upset if you don't get elected. I'm like, what? He's telling me this because I'm not going to get elected, is what I was thinking. But then I got elected and I met him like 2 weeks after, and he showed me, like, he came from a farming operation, a beef operation, and they've got over, like, 400 head of Angus cattle now. But it was that decision of going to run for state office, not getting elected, that led him to being the first one in his family to go to college, to getting an ag degree, to being involved within Tennessee Farm Bureau on his county board. That made him get really involved very early in young farmers and ranchers. And then he became Tennessee Farm Bureau president. Then he became the deputy commissioner of agriculture. And it's like, yeah, when we get early involvement and you step into something pretty quick, it can pay off sometimes.
And just, even though he didn't get elected, he still used what he learned and he can still be involved in agriculture even if you're not in FFA anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like
Yes.
at UK, they have this I I think I forgot what it's called, but it's like this club
Yeah.
for And pretty much every person in there are former or current FFA members or state officers,
That's pretty cool.
and they it's like this like club dedicated to ag issues and
Yep.
stuff like that, and they love it because it's all the same type of people
That's awesome.
still doing the stuff they love,
Yep.
even if it's not in a blue corduroy.
That's yeah. That's cool. That's a
Yeah,
cool class right there to be in that too. That's pretty
and
awesome.
then yeah, just as much as I love my blue corduroy, I know it's not going to last forever,
Right?
and I think that's great because I'm probably going to have the best experience of my life outside of FFA because FFA is only the building blocks.
Only the building blocks. Yes, we. And I think we need more people to understand that too, because we have a lot of FFA members who they dive in and they're so passionate and they love FFA and they're all about it, which is great. That's what we need. But then we can put too much of our stock into it, and if a contest or a speech or an office doesn't go our way, it can lead us to a negative viewpoint on this organization, and that's not what we need. We need a Jeff Aiken, like I was sharing about
Yeah,
earlier, still turned that failure into, hey, I can still take what I learned in my 4 years in this blue jacket, and I can go out and I can make a difference. And wow, he's made a difference in Tennessee agriculture. That's for sure.
yeah, and just so many like our ag teachers, a lot
Yep.
of them, pretty much all of them. I'm sure there's a few exceptions, but pretty much all of them are former FFA members themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
know how it is.
They understand. Yep.
And they know how it is to not always, things end up great or get the way you want it. Um my one of my favorite one of my advisors, he's also our parley coach,
Okay.
Mr. Bustle.
Yeah.
He's amazing at parliamentary procedure, and he's
Yep.
amazing at he's from Rockcastle County.
Okay.
He grew his
I've
family
heard
had
about Rockcastle County. I've heard it's an impressive place for
yes,
FFA.
it's very cool.
Yep.
Um and his family had goats and sheep, and he was so passionate. He never once made it to state in any competition,
Wow.
but he continued on, and he's been an ag teacher for forever.
Yep.
Um, and he is an amazing parliamentary procedure coach. Like,
Yes.
he's so passionate about it. He actually judges for West Virginia state
Wow.
competition sometimes. Like,
Okay.
he's um, he, this is a funny thing that he tells us. Um, he's not a licensed parliamentarian
Yep.
because he's too tired and doesn't want to do all that. But he's super good at it.
He's good at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that's good. And that's where those ag teachers sometimes like they can take the skills they learn in the FFA, but with some of that I think is like hilarious. He's kind of building off that story. Not an ag teacher, but one of like my greatest mentors running for national office and now still is national officer. His name is Andy Paul. He's from Georgia. He served as national president in 2014, 2015, but he never did a chapter contest, or he did a chapter contest. He never did an FFA contest, CDE or LDE, above the chapter contest. Like they would do some contest inside to be like see who the top four on the team was or something like that, and he would compete in those. But like he never did a regional or a district or state contest. Was elected Georgia State president, so he still learned leadership skills right there within that classroom, that local chapter. Was elected national FFA president. If you asked him what the second line of the FFA creed was to this day, he's like, I've got no idea. But still, he learned so much in those skills. So it shows like, yeah, you don't have to be like this built resume of like, yes, I've won all this, or yes, I've done all this. You can still take stuff from this organization, whether you have that or not.
Right. And like we are saying earlier, you don't have to be the person that head of the room. You don't have to have all these pins and laurels
Yep.
from all the stuff you've done.
Yep.
You just need to be when when the time comes for you to step up and be a leader, can you do it
You do
and
it
can you do it well?
100%.
That's what decides if you're like material, I guess, for
Agree.
lack of a better term. It has nothing to do with how like good of a public speaker you are. Has no like it does not matter if you can name every single bone in a cow's body. All
Yep.
that matters is that you can show up to the occasion, do things
Exactly.
when they're hard, and push through.
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree 100%. That's so true. That made me think of I had a representation somebody told me yesterday while I was at the Capitol at Tennessee. They were talking about, how FFA allows for people to be able to step up when it's their time. And they were given an illustration of like Ohio State's quarterback in 2014 when they won the national championship. I don't even know his name. I didn't watch a lot of football at 2014. I was 9. But apparently they were undefeated the whole season. And then the last game of the season, but while playing Michigan, their starting quarterback got injured. And the backup quarterback was a fifth year senior. So, like, he had played at Ohio State for 5 years, had never started a game, though. Never started a game. People was like, we don't know who this guy is. Goes into the Big Ten championship, dominates, throws like 3 touchdowns, 400 passing yards. Then they play Alabama in the semifinals. And this is like Nick Saban.
Save in Alabama.
Yeah, they win that game and then go on to win the national championship against Florida State, who had won the national championship the year before. He played in 3 games his entire college career, and he stepped up when it mattered. And they're like, that's what FFA members, that's what we're doing for people is like they may just be waiting for their time to step into the contest or step into the career or step into the conversation with networking opportunity, but they're going to be able to be ready to be a leader when they're called to be.
Yeah. And just learning those skills like networking or just learning how to like hold a conversation for longer than 2 minutes and not talk about the
Exactly.
weather,
Exactly. Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
oh boy, weather.
Oh my gosh. Mm.
Like Tuesday, it was supposed to be a regional day Tuesday, but it got canceled
Yeah.
because snow and Lexington and snow for whatever reason just don't mix well.
Don't go well.
Like so you know that during being that real big ice storm,
Yes.
uh we were the worst like town slash city or any place in the entirety of the state of Kentucky when it came to
Oh
roads.
wow. Wow.
So yeah, and just yesterday, I took a screenshot of it, but it was like if you went on Google Maps and looked at like the traffic blockage, everything was either yellow, red, or just closed down due to traffic.
Man. Mm.
And just yeah, so
That's rough.
but hey, it's still this week and it's tomorrow. So
Yep. Exactly. You're golden.
exactly. Always need that time to shine and I work great under pressure.
There you go. There you go.
Like I've always loved working under pressure
Yeah. That's
and
awesome.
like a lot of the questions I like to ask in these interviews on the spot because I think those are better questions than just like
Agreed.
reading them off like a list that are pre-prepared.
Yes. I'm big time on that. Like we get these keynotes and workshops and stuff like that we get to deliver them, but like I can get bored of telling the same stories in a keynote or going through the same activities in the same workshop over and over to where like I've had to tell like my national officer coaches and people around me like we're going to be switching it up because do you even keep myself like not being bored and like we love this statement where energy flows attention goes, so like if you can bring the energy and you're yourself interested and really enthusiastic about what you're doing, people are going to lead to that. And that's something that we want to showcase. And so there's been times where I'm like, yeah, I've been able to tell this story a lot, but there's another story on my mind that just happened yesterday on the airplane. I want to tell that story. Yeah, and we can still bring same messages and everything, but it doesn't have to be the same old, same old. We can bring in moments and be present in the moment, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and Caroline actually we had like this little interview workshop with her because she
Yep,
was some of our students were getting ready for regional officer interviews and state officer interviews,
yep,
and she said nothing is more interesting to the person running the interview than human connection.
100%. That's such a good.
Like being able to like nothing is better than just like being able to prove like hey I'm human, I make
Yep,
mistakes, and then being able to like actually talk like a normal person and just act like a normal person, like
exactly.
because
We don't need
when you're
robots.
yeah when you're a state officer or a national officer, people don't flock to the people who just say a script. They flock to the people who are willing to be genuine.
Yep. Yeah, and you're exactly right. And I think something that I had to learn too is like we can easily get caught up in FFA within the contest, within that side of it, of like we need to look like this perfect interview answer machine. I don't make mistakes, but it's like well, that's not a real human. Like we all are flawed. We all have weaknesses. Like we all are going to mess up. And so that's something that I also think is really cool is when as FFA members, as leaders, we can sit there and be like, yeah, I've messed up before too. Yeah, I didn't do well in that contest, or yeah, I bombed that set of livestock judging reasons. Stuff like that really um, helps us showcase that we're all humans and we all have strengths and weaknesses, and that's how we were made, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, because it's what makes us truly human.
Exactly.
And we're not livestock during the county fair. We don't need to be up to the or like a dog during a dog show.
100%.
There is no human standard for what the best person is, because the best person is one that's honest and just fair to all, and just
Yep.
being able to be a human and just making mistakes, learning from them, and doing better.
Big time. Big time. I agree.
Yeah, and then FA really helps with that
It does.
because
Yes,
you,
so much.
I have learned well is that winning is nice, but you don't grow from winning.
No, no, no.
You only grow from losing.
Losing. Yeah. No, you're exactly right, and that's where there are so many times through FFA contests because I'm like a very competitive person. I've took the Enneagram test. I'm a 3, so I'm the achiever. I'm the person who like I want to go out there and be successful and win. However, there's so many times and I would get frustrated in FFA when I would lose, and then by about sophomore year, it clicked of like if I want to be a lifelong learner, the more that I can get a second or a third or a fourth or a fifth place and be like, okay, well, these are the things they're giving me feedback that I can improve on. Let's just dive into that because that's where I'm actually growing those building blocks that are helping me rather than if we just keep winning, it's great and it's awesome, but it's like, where's the game?
And the greatest like fiction books aren't written in one draft. They go through
Yeah.
m- multiple drafts where they're refined and made better.
Yes.
It's kind of
One-
like how we are.
Yeah. Good point.
Exactly how we are, actually.
100% how we are. Yep.
Like, of course, mistakes are always going to be there, but that's good.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
very good because,
It's
like you
it's
said,
amazing.
being a
I
lifelong learner.
Yes, I can't remember who said the quote, but they were like, "Fail forward." Just if you continue to fail, but if you're moving forward while doing it, you're fine.
Yeah, it'll always end up where you need to be.
100%.
You'll
Yes,
always be placed where you need to be and where you
always,
deserve to be. Because that's
always.
just,
There's a
you
bigger
know,
plan than what we
yeah,
have for ourselves.
exactly.
Yep,
Yep. And maybe we don't understand it. Maybe we may not get it.
but
Just
that's
got to
okay.
go with it.
You just gotta trust it.
You got to trust and accept it and make the best of what you have.
Yes,
Like, sometimes waking up in the morning, don't feel like going to school or don't feel like showing up to work. You It shows more the type of person you are when you do something when you don't feel like it.
yes,
That is
yes.
something my band director, Mr. Skaggs, also a former FFA member, so we talk about it a lot, but
Yeah,
he always says to us, um, waking up on the days that you don't want to go to school or don't want to go to work, but you still do, shows the type of person you will become.
yeah. That's discipline at its core, and it also shows how much love and passion you have for something. I said I was a big basketball fan, and I looked up to Kobe Bryant and his inspiration so much, but he was a person that would always, as I looked at his motivational videos, like he stayed in that gym and he would get up at 3 a.m. when his team USA, when they were playing in the Olympics, were like, we're sleeping till 6. He'd already have 2 workouts done, but it just showed he loved it. He had a passion for it, and he was willing to show the discipline to go chase after that dream.
Yeah, and I've always been a more football kind of a guy, football and hockey.
Yep.
Peyton Manning
Oh,
spending hours in the film room.
Yes.
just studying and researching film.
My favorite quote in this entire life is from Peyton Manning, and it went back to like my FFA time because you know there were people who were more talented and skilled than me, and so his quote literally says, "In the game of football, there are people who are more skilled, there are people who are more talented than me, but there was no one who could out prepare me." And I was like, "That's it. If we're willing to put in the work, then if somebody who's more skilled or has a natural gift over us, I can live with that. But if I can say I went and prepared to the utmost of my ability, then I can live with myself."
Yeah, because could he run fast? No. Could
No.
he throw a very good spiral?
Oh my.
No. But could he run the field? Like, could he look at the field like a chess game and put where people need to be? Yes.
Yes, he
And
could.
that's why he has 5 MVPs.
Exactly. Yep.
And then just stuff like that. And one of my favorite quotes is actually from Peyton Manning too.
Okay.
Um, his retirement speech. I can't remember exactly,
Love that
but
retirement speech.
um, it's something like treat a man as he is, and he will
Yes, I
stay
know
as
what
he
you're talking
is.
about.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Treat a man as what he could be. That is the man he will become, or
Yeah.
something like that. And
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
just spoke so much to me.
I
Like,
know.
and I think that's what advisors do without, I don't think, really realizing it. Like, your advisor coming up to you and being like, "Hey, you should do this event."
Yep.
They probably see something that you don't.
Yep, exactly. No, you're right. I love that, and he ended it. I stole it from that retirement speech, hardcore, in my retiring address. But he literally, it was Second Timothy 4:7, but it was, I have fought the good fight,
Yeah,
ran the race, I have kept the faith, and I was like, that should be our goal in FFA, but that should be our goal in life. Like, how can we go out there and just give this race of life our all, so when it's said and done, we can say, I finished the race. I've done everything I could. So yeah, he's a big inspiration to me.
yeah,
Obviously, he's a Tennessee Volunteer, of course.
yeah. I have some slight resentment being a very big Tennessee Titan fan and just
Yeah,
him being on the Colts.
I know. Yep, it's sad.
My dad has more resentment towards him than I do because
Yeah. What is he a fan of? Is NFL?
he's one of the biggest Tennessee Titans fans I've ever met.
Okay.
Um, so this was from the NFL draft.
Okay. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
in 2019, when I was in Nashville, and my dad's from Bowling Green, where
Okay.
WKU is.
Yep.
So he was 30 minutes from Nashville. So he like will always claim that he's from slightly outside of Nashville
Gotcha.
because he would go there all the time. He
Yep.
loved it. Big Tennessee Titans fan. But he loved them so much, and he would go to as many home games as he can. He actually has season tickets for home games.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Um, with his one of his best friends, who's basically like an uncle to me, but they would go all the time and they love it. But
Yep.
they would get so angry whenever they were playing against Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Oh, he's a legend. He's so good.
Yeah, and my my dad telling me about this. He's only cried a very few times in his adult life, and one of them was when they were playing Peyton Manning.
I could see it. I could see it. 100%.
Yeah, but yeah, FFA, it's a very important organization. Regardless if you stick with ag or you don't, you'll get something from it.
I hope that didn't mess up the recording.
No, you're good. I pause the recording.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sweet.
Oh yeah. Now you're in more frame rate.
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
you're in a higher frame rate. I can see.
Sweet.
But yeah, FFA, just regardless of what happens and you're in it, and something that I honestly kind of struggle with, just as being a very competitive person,
Hmm.
um, is that like learning to fail. Like I can acknowledge it, and I don't. I'll be honest. It's very easy to say, but I have a, but I know for a fact it's very easy. It's very easy to say, but it's harder to do.
Yeah.
But because it's hard, it's even more rewarding.
Yes. Big time. You're exactly right. Because like junior year, I hit a point within FFA where I was like in a big slump because I was really competitive, and my FFA advisor, Miss Emily Haley, like gave me a goal of like, let's try to win one state contest each year that you're in high school. And so freshman year, I was able to win agriculture communications with my team. Then sophomore year, we won meets evaluation. So I was like, hey, we're doing pretty good. We're 2 for 2. Then junior year, we won dairy right at the start of the year. So I was like, 3 for 3, we got it. But then I was like, okay, what if we could get two? And I just kept coming up short in so many contests to where I was taking them as like losses and then letting that be it and not wanting to be like, okay, well, what could I have done better in that one? And so I kept losing and losing and losing. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And then finally it was like, well, one, we're trying way too hard, and two, we're not taking anything of like, well, let's think about what could I have done better in that reason set, or how could I have taken that quiz bowl contest and maybe how can I make a different plan of studying the FFA manual, or in employment skills, how could I focus on maybe adding a few more personal stories in, like just little stuff like that. And once I was willing to take as much feedback, I was like, I'll take all the feedback I can get. It just changed my whole perspective on competing.
Yeah. And my mom always tells me this is that if you go in seeing it as a competition and only as a competition where you win or you lose, then you've already lost.
Yep. Yep.
Like if you go in expecting there to be only two outcomes and only one of them are good, then you're not gonna then nothing is good gonna come from it.
Time. Yes. It's a great
And
point.
yeah, because we it's fun to win. Don't get me wrong,
Yes.
it's amazing to win, and it just feels good, but it's also good to know what you could have done better if you didn't. Because they give you feedback. They're not just like they put on your scorecard feedback and reasons why they scored you this way
Yep.
and things that you could improve because they care.
Yep.
They
Yep.
wouldn't do it if they didn't care, and they wouldn't be judging if they didn't care.
Agreed. Agreed. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And then Tennessee. What um what's like a main defining feature of Tennessee FFA that if you could if you were put on the spot and say what is like the Tennessee FFA stand like not standard but like their claim to fame.
Hmm. Our claim to fame is that we have the oldest FFA camp in the nation, Camp Clements. So our FFA camp was started in 1929. Yeah, I know. Oldest one, and let me tell you, that is my favorite part about Tennessee FFA. We do 6 weeks of Tennessee FFA camp, so about 250 FFA members each week. It starts the last week of May, and it'll run all the way through the 4th of July. So when y'all's FFA camp is starting, ours is kind of ending. But that 4th of July week at camp, I connected so much when you were like, that was a blast. 4th of July week at FFA camp, it is my favorite week of the entire year. I mean, hot dogs, pool parties, fireworks show on Thursday night. We do countless volleyball games, kickball games. We do parlay pro classes, extemporaneous public speaking contests, quiz bowl contest at camp, like all types of just fun things. And you're also with just 250 people for 5 days, so you get to know just about everybody at the camp, which is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, and our one of my favorite parts is like our FFA camp too because it's very similar. Like just these fun games where you can also learn. Like we have workshop classes, but we also have officer class, which is where they like learn specific skills that are like integral to being this officer and just overarching skills like and there's a lot of trading ideas like one of the coolest things I saw another chapter two which I wish we could do but I know we can't
Yep.
for logistical reasons is that I forgot the county feel really bad about it but during FFA week they would have not maybe not even during FFA week but during a week during the school year, all their FFA members, if they have one, would uh, or a tractor from the community, they would drive their tractors to school
Yeah.
as like a fundraising thing. So people would like sponsor them.
That's cool. That's cool. We do on the last week of FFA week, so the Friday of FFA week at our school, we do a drive your tractor to school day, and so we've done that. We don't do it for fundraiser, but there is a Lincoln County in Tennessee, so they're like south, like they're on the Alabama line, and it's their biggest, biggest fundraiser of the year. They get $10,000 through drive your tractor to school day, from sponsors to the T-shirts to the breakfast that they put on outside the high school. It is insane.
Yeah. We um our Friday at the end of FFA week, we have an auction.
Okay.
So we have an auction ran by like real auctioneers.
Oh wow.
Um so we have like the guy talking really really fast,
Yep.
like where we auction items that are donated. Some are things made by the students from their SAEs, some are community donated things. This year we had a signed basketball by the UK men's basketball team with free tickets,
Oh dang, that's awesome.
and some of the stuff goes for crazy amounts of
I
money.
bet.
Like Mr. Bustle, I was talking about him.
Yep.
His mother or his grandmother made a pie that went for $600
Oh my goodness. Wow.
because it's pretty much just like a fundraising event
Yep.
where you can also get an item out of it. So
Yep.
they just a lot of these people it attracts like a lot of people from the farm bureau who are involved in that. A lot of people from in and around the area who are like people in ag who have like a passion for it. Um, donate lots of money from it, and it's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's also we also do a chili supper, so we serve chili the entire time. Uh, just a bunch of like really cool items that I really would actually buy myself.
Right.
Um, but I get why I can't because they are because everything went for above $100.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's crazy. I don't have
And
that type of money.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, neither do I. No one in my family does.
Yep, same. Mhm. No, we're just farmers.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just really cool to see like different events that different chapters do to see how they do it.
Yeah.
Um, just random stuff. Like we also do a grooming clinic for dogs. So like we called Marktober. So
Ah,
in
good one.
October we do it in November, but
Okay.
because it's called Marktober because it used to be in October, but now it's during November.
Okay.
But
Got
it's usually where we have students bringing in dogs from in and around the community, or people bringing their dogs to get groomed by our students in the vet science pathway,
Yep.
so they can use what they learn in class to like do it in real life.
Very cool.
It's also cool because I go to a weird school because we also have a vet clinic on our campus.
Okay.
That's a part of the school, but it's its own
Oh
private
wow.
business. So some of our students like
Yeah.
will go over there during the school day to like shadow there for an hour.
Man. Okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, we have an 83 acre campus.
Wow.
So we
Yeah. It's
have
way bigger than our school.
yeah. It's mostly farmland. So
Okay.
um we have a very big like livestock pasture for cattle, horses, goats, pigs, sheep, and
Yeah.
then tiny little chicken coop,
No.
um, a greenhouse, which also has an aquaponics lab, and then a bunch of open space for our bees.
That's awesome.
But all of our bees died.
Oh no.
Yeah, that winter was tough on everyone.
There you go.
We're getting more though. We're getting more.
Good. Good. Good.
But yeah, just seeing the stuff that they do, especially because I come from a very specific background, which is very different from everyone else's. Just seeing like how they do their things and then seeing how we do our things
Yep.
is very eye opening. Plus the fun friends and experiences we get to make, like the pink lemonade, which I can't describe it. It tastes like heaven.
Oh man. I love pink lemonade.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes. It's very
Yeah.
good.
They have like this weird. I don't know what they put in it, but like they have like this specific recipe that they do, and
Hmm.
it tastes amazing.
Oh, okay.
So
I
they're like infamous for their pink
wanna have to
lemonade.
try it one day.
Yeah, it's really good. And then dumb camp traditions like where they like try to see who can clean up their cabin the best and then
Yeah.
get a reward for it, the golden broom.
Okay, we do something like that at Camp Clements where it's
Yeah.
like every day, two advisors have to judge like all the cabins to see who cleaned theirs the best, and like they'll give us our score at the end of the day. And whoever wins at the end is like gets a little award. It's actually pretty fun. One time we moved all of the beds, all of the sheets, everything out of the room, put it on the bus. So basically, the room was just completely spotless. Got a score of 100 that day, and we took the win. We was like, yes,
We ours is judged by our state officers.
nice. Okay, that's pretty cool.
So we have 12 state officers in
Okay.
total and there's about 4 per week. So there's about 3 weeks of camp.
Okay, okay. Makes sense.
So they come down and they will go to each cabin judging um and they do make a little joke about like how if you bribe them with candy they might give you a slightly higher score.
Yep, that's our ag teachers too. They're like, if you leave us Reese's, you could get some points. I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And just the random stuff like uh the love confession letters.
Oh yeah,
Have you heard about that?
yes. That Trenton was telling me about those. Oh man, those are interesting.
They're very fun. I
I bet.
they're they're more fun to like see their action, especially because the league I went, we had Thaddeus Bergschneider,
Oh,
so a good portion of them were written to him.
I bet. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's that?
Even one of them was written by our chapter,
Nice.
and just like signing them under the name of like your friend from another chapter, or like
Right.
this one chapter they played a prank on their president. They wrote a love letter, and signed it under his name and made him go up there to take it back.
That's messed up.
It's so fun.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Yeah. And what state conventions are you going to for?
Yeah. So I just finished up New Hampshire, which was my first one, and then this weekend I'll head to Gatlinburg for Tennessee, so that'll be my second one. Then go Idaho, Alaska, Kansas, New York, Alabama, and then we'll finish at Wisconsin. Yeah,
Oh, good. I mean, hey, Wisconsin's during the summer, I think.
it is. Yes, June 14th. So I'm like, we'll be warm there. There we go.
Yeah,
That's a win.
that's a win for everyone.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure.
We could never have ours in March, is what I'm slowly learning.
Yep,
Because Kentucky weather is bipolar at best.
yep. No, it's fair. It's fair. We could be 1 year at convention in Gatlinburg sweating, and then another year it's snowing. It depends every time.
Yeah, this last week it went from below freezing to 80 to back to below freezing.
Oh man. Oh man. That's insane.
Yes, I I love my state, but they're
Right.
trying to kill me. They're
Right.
trying to kill me.
Oh, that's the type of weather that'll make you get sick.
Yes, because you'll go from really hot to really cold,
Yep.
and then you don't expect the next day to be as cold or as hot, so you dress modestly.
Yes.
Negative 30 to 32 degrees.
Right. Oh,
Bundling up,
bad stuff.
wearing three layers of coats.
Yeah.
I can't move my arms.
Right.
From Christmas Story.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So how many what's the word? Chapters are in Tennessee.
We have 247. And so I think which we're 100% affiliated. So now we sit at 34,182 members. Yep. What's Kentucky at?
We're at 150 chapters with I don't hold, let me look it up. I'll be
Hey,
honest. I don't have these numbers memorized.
maybe that's okay.
I think it's less than you guys. I think it's,
Okay.
let's see. Oh, no, slightly above 20, about around 25,000.
Okay. There you
Around
go.
25,000
Nice.
with 150 chapters.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think we're fully affiliated, but I don't know
Don't
that.
know.
I'll be honest, I have no idea.
Right. That's a
I know some of our chapters are affiliated,
yep.
like Locust Race is affiliated.
Okay.
Um, I know a good portion of the chapters are affiliated. I think a majority of them, but I don't think we're fully affiliated.
Yeah. Nice.
And
Nice.
then 11 regions or so,
Yep. Yep.
12 state officers.
Heck yeah.
How many state officers do you guys have in Tennessee?
We do 8, so we do the constitutional 6, but there is a Middle Tennessee vice president, East Tennessee, and West Tennessee, so that adds to the position. So there's 8. Yep.
Yeah, we kind of do the same thing with some of our regions. So like we have the constitutional 6,
Yep.
then we have like uh Big Sandy River region, Lincoln
Yep.
Trail, blah 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 blah.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
that makes up the other 6.
6. Okay. Makes sense.
So yeah, and that's
That was 12. Yep.
I'm kind of we're kind of spoiled because I didn't realize that a lot of people don't have as much as we do. Like when it
Right.
comes to state
Yeah.
officers, like
No.
Matthew SS was talking about it, how he went to Indiana to
Mm-hmm.
work with them. They only have like the constitutional 6
They do.
or something
Oh,
like that.
6.
Yeah,
Yeah. I went to Nevada for FFA week, and they only have 2. The state president and vice president. They will do the constitutional 6, but they only had 4 run for state office, and then 3 got elected, and then 1 had to get to school, and so she had to stop being a state officer. So now they only have 2, and it's like, wow, egg 8 in Tennessee is actually a pretty big number, and then you got
number.
12 in Kentucky, and yeah, so yeah.
And then
Uh,
how many ever are in Texas and
oh
California?
yeah. Oh man, a lot,
Yeah. And
especially
then
Texas. Texas has got
yeah,
a bunch of state officers. Yeah.
I was talking to Liam Wade, the
Alaska,
Alaskan,
right?
yeah, Alaskan vice president. Yeah, it's so interesting to see like how their thing goes because they're allowed to run when they're still in high school.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
crazy. Just where I got in New Hampshire, they're allowed to run. Like if they get elected to state office, they can run again. And so, like, their Morrison, who's their state secretary this year, ran again during this state convention, and now he's state president. So he's going to serve 2 years as a state officer. So, like, it's crazy how other states operate.
yeah, and like we have this thing where you can rerun if you don't become a state officer after you graduate high school, you can rerun your like first year of college or something like that.
Yep. Same for
As
us.
yeah, as long as you're like paying your dues to FFA, you can still do it.
Yep.
And yeah, and then so also my chapter, we aren't allowed to be an officer until we're a junior,
Okay. Gotcha.
because to prevent like to make sure that the sophomores actually know what they're doing,
Right. No, fair. Fair. That's a good point.
especially given that we have like 300 or so members,
Wow. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's
and
fair.
just to like make sure that the people who would be elected, are passionate about it, are
Yep.
willing to do it, and all that it entails.
Yep. Very true.
So, uh, I'm running for chapter officer this year. So,
Heck yeah. Let's go. That's exciting.
yeah, and even if I don't get it, we have like a 24 member executive team. So, because we have 8 committees or
Oh,
something like that, because we have so many people, we just can't put them into like 3. We have to like divide them up. So, I'm currently one of the people in charge of the fundraising committee. So we go over all the fundraisers. We have like family and community engagement. So, and just strengthening, just like random stuff like that.
yep.
Because
Fair.
we are such a big chapter relatively.
Hmm.
Um,
That's awesome.
Yeah. I assume you guys had like 3 committees, if any at all?
Yeah, we would do at our chapter level. We did basically the program of activities, those of the building communities,
POA?
feeding agriculture. Yep, and growing leaders. Yeah, the POAs, they really allowed us. That's where our 3 committees were at, and so we have a committee chairman and then 3 or 4 that were working in that committee with them. Yep,
Yeah. We have because we have so many people, we just had to like split them up
yep,
because which also I think it's a good thing because it allows us to have each committee really, really focus in
yeah,
on their one specific goal and not like be having to do so much. Like family
right,
community engagement or FACE, they focus on community events, like and strictly only community events. So they do and run and plan all the community events. Me as a fundraiser committee person, like
yep,
chairman, we go over funds and fundraising. Um, we go over like spreading it. Like we just did a strawberry fundraiser where we sell strawberries, which was very successful.
yeah.
Yeah, because strawberries are very good.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
we do stuff like the alumni auction, but we also like work together with other committees to plan out everything.
Cool.
So
That's
it's very, very fun. We have a committee dedicated to the like they're called the celebration committee. They do more than just celebrations, but they
right.
do like events for like special events if a team does particularly well or at the end of the year we have this banquet for our chapter where we announce the new chapter officers. We it's a nice little goodbye ceremony to all of our graduating seniors. Um, we do a bunch of awards.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, the final question, because
Yes.
this has been going for 2 hours
Oh
almost. You're just fun to talk to, so I guess it's
yeah, there you
yeah.
go.
Um, out of all the FFA Creed, which you might not have memorized, I don't have it memorized. That's okay. Um, what to you is one phrase or sentence or line that like speaks to your soul that like none other can?
I'm gonna go with that last line in the 5th paragraph. That one always really hits home to me right here in the heart, and it's the I can exert an influence in my home and community, which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. And I love how E.M. Tiffany, and I wish I could speak to him to this day because I think he made that line the last one for a reason, because it kind of ends with a calling to action of, you know, I'm a big believer. One of we talked about quotes earlier. I love the quote: "Each of us should use whatever gift we have received to serve others." And so each of us have a gift, whether that's through communication, whether that's through science, whatever it may be. We all are naturally gifted. How can we go exert that influence in FFA through our gift, through our strength? That's something that it's so powerful to me. It's really important to me. And that's something that I want to try to live out in these last few months of National FFA office, is making sure that as I go to these conventions, I go to these camps, these conferences, these chapter visits, I can exert that influence so it'll stand solid in my part in that inspiring task. So ultimately, when I hang up that jacket in Lucas Oil Stadium come October, I can walk off of that stage knowing that I left this organization in a better place than I found it.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see that
Thank you. I know.
because, and I'll just put mine out there.
Yep.
Mine is always the first line,
There you
the
go.
first line, the first sentence. I believe in the future of agriculture, a
Agriculture.
faith not born of words but of deeds. Because
Man, it's a good one.
it's a good one. Because they're like we were talking about earlier, the average age of a farmer is 58.
Yep.
There is so much to do and so much to work for that so much that we have to improve. But if we believe that there is a future for agriculture, then by golly, are we going to do it?
100%. 100%. Yeah, it was such a strong opening line, and I think there was a reason for that one too. Because if there's a part that usually people know of the creed, they at least know I believe in the future of
The future of
agriculture.
agriculture. Yeah,
Yep, and that's a big line to have. Keep believing in agriculture. Keep believing in the future generation because that's where the agriculture and what I call the heartbeat of our nation. It lies within these FFA members who are going to carry that torch.
yeah. The the future of our country, the future of the world, in fact, lies in the current generation and what they
Yes,
choose to do with it.
yes, one hundred
So,
percent. Couldn't agree more.
yeah, and believing in that future of agriculture, I think that's a pretty good thing to believe in.
I agree. Big time.
Because, not necessarily being from a traditional farming background, being from more an urban, still having a love for it is so important because you don't have to be from farming.
You don't, not at all.
Like, most people from my chapter aren't from a traditional farming background. I can only think of two
There
who
you
are
go.
truly from a traditional farming background.
Yep,
And everyone still has a passion for it and they still love it because they care.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
so
you so
important.
much for
Yes.
doing this.
No, I appreciate it. This was a great conversation. Thank you for having me on.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Wishing you the best tomorrow in Parley Pro.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.